by the jury, and I'm very pleased to announce that the winner of this challenge is here with us, Andreas Kamilaris. Andreas is from Cyprus. He's a PhD student and works in the Networks Research Laboratory, which is part of the Computer Science Department of the University of Cyprus. So Andreas is going to give us a short demonstration of his application, Social Electricity, Facebook application, and he'll tell us more about that. So it gives me great pleasure to, oh, he's already got his hands on it, to give him this check. I'm not sure he'll be able to take it along to the local bank, but the real check will be will be following, and this is just for a photo opportunity. So Andreas, congratulations.
If you have 5 more minutes, there is a question. Hello everyone, I am Andreas Kamilaris from the Department of Computer Science of the University of Cyprus, and I would like to present you just a very short presentation about the novel ICT Green Application targeting energy awareness and energy conservation. It's a collaboration between the Department of Computer Science of the University of Cyprus, the Networks Research Laboratory, which is part of the department, and the Electricity Authority of Cyprus, which is the only electric utility of the country. A key problem in Europe and I guess around the world is that people receive an electricity bill once every month. In Cyprus the case is once every 2 months. It's not easy for these people to understand their electricity footprint, to conceive whether their electrical consumption is low, medium or high, considering the average consumption around any country. Another thing is that people tend to blame their electric utilities for their high bills, and they do not really consider that at the end of the day it is their actions that are responsible for these high bills they produce. So citizens need an effective way, allow me to say, to realize the semantics of their electrical consumption. Our work is motivated by social norms. I place on this slide some quotes from well-known psychological journals which describe social norms in relation to the behavioral tendencies of people. Social norms say that people tend to follow what other people do and adapt their behavior and their practice according to the encouragement received by their social environment, which could be friends, relatives, neighbors. Social norms, or better say social influence, is an important factor that can motivate people to change their lifestyles. So the general idea of this work is to raise the energy awareness of people through social comparisons with their friends and their neighborhood. These social comparisons have the potential to help people perceive the amount of the electrical energy they consume, and through comparisons with their social and their local environment. And nowadays, online social networking sites like Facebook, Twitter constitute promising platforms that could locate people and discover their social networks in order to create a social environment where people share electricity-related data. So we created the Social Electricity Facebook application, which helps Cypriot citizens. This project is applied in Cyprus, which is a European country in the Mediterranean, and helps them to understand their electrical consumption, to perceive whether their consumption is low, medium or high by comparing with their neighborhood and their online friends. Electricity data is real, it is accurate, it's provided by the Electricity Authority of Cyprus, and they are aggregated in neighborhood level, where neighborhood is defined as a PO code and street. Just to give you an understanding of the data, we are, as you may notice, a small country. We have 300,000 domestic premises. These data are aggregated in 2-month periods, and we also keep historical information about the last 2 years, which are in average 7,200,000 electricity measurements from the electrical meters of Cyprus. I will show you some functionalities of the project, and then I will show you a small demo if you are still patient with my presentation. At first, people can make personal comparisons to compare their own electricity footprint with the average amount of electricity consumed at their neighborhood or their village or town where they live, or even the whole of Cyprus. For privacy of citizens, we only aggregate the data in neighborhood level. So we encourage people to enter their own electrical consumption in order to make this comparison happen. Also, people can compare their electrical consumption at their street with that of their friends, tagged on the map of Cyprus, as you can see on the slide, and where friends are tagged in the exact location where they live. By hovering over their friends, the people can see detailed information about their own consumption, and this interface was to encourage a discussion around energy between friends. Furthermore, we offer some location-based statistics to help people acquire region awareness, let's say, where people can observe the most and the least energy efficient streets in their neighborhood, as well as the most and least efficient areas and villages around the country in the form of statistics. And finally, people can see some historical information where they can compare the energy behavior of their street in previous months or even in the same month in previous years. This comparison can become social by including also information about the energy behavior of the streets of their friends. Some initial facts: the application started officially before 1.5 months. It counts now more than 550 users, which in equivalence to France it could be more than 20,000, which is impressive for Cyprus, in my opinion. It has some eponymous supporters already, like the Interior Minister and the Commissioner for the Environment. There have been extensive reportage and publicity in large media of Cyprus, including TV and radio channels, newspaper and magazines. The application was invited to be presented in the East Mid-West Congress, which happened in Cyprus before a while, which was honorable for the application. And there were also various conference and journal publications. Considering some initial findings, a slightly larger participation is by male than female, while the most popular group of users, 40%, is between 25-34 years old, which are people more convenient to use web technologies and our interfaces. Most of people live in the urban environment who use our application, and even though we wanted larger participation from suburban and rural areas, and most of them live in the capital of Cyprus, which is Nicosia. The average visit duration in the application is 6 minutes and 40 seconds, which is a satisfactory amount of time. And 32% of the users use also the application more than once, which is important for us in 1.5 months of deployment. And also, almost 1 out of 3 users check also his own personal consumption with and compare it with his neighborhood. Next steps of the application, which is currently running and evolving, is that we want to include more effective electrical comparison between people that share common preferences. For example, considering the size of the house or the number of residents or the heating, cooling type, and also more effective statistics, including what we were suggested from people, a color map of Cyprus according to the electric behavior in different areas of the country. Also, as we want to adapt to the net zero program of the European Union, we have also discussions with the Cypriot government to include also building specific statistics, at least for the governmental buildings. Some people also suggested to send them a newsletter every 2 months, informing them about their electricity footprint and comparing with their local and social environment. And also we plan to give access to social electricity to people that do not have a Facebook account. And of course they will lose the social part, but they will still have some location-based statistics and general information about the electricity consumption in Cyprus. According to some goals of the European Union, by 2020, 80% of houses in Europe need to be equipped with smart meters. And we believe that our application complies with these goals and with the future about electricity consumption, since it could be extended into a real-time platform where there will be real-time support from smart meters, with which you can update the electrical consumption of domestic premises almost in real time, in order to offer almost real-time energy awareness and electricity-related comparisons. Also, competitions could be performed between friends, neighborhood, and areas almost in real time, while electric utilities could offer awards to the most energy efficient citizens or even location and areas. And the government, through applications such as ours, could give some financial motives to individual organizations, even municipalities, in order to save energy. Allow me now to give you a 5 minutes overview through a live demo of the application. It will not take long, I promise. So, when a Cypriot citizen opens his Facebook account, he can register to the application. When he registers for the first time, he can also specify where he lives in order to obtain local specific electricity related information. And he can see here the map of Cyprus with all his friends tagged on the map where they live. Here is, for example, a list of my own friends who are all citizens of Cyprus. By selecting some particular friend and by clicking on this button, I can see the energy behavior of my friend in the street where he lives. For example, with red color is in case he has a worse consumption than mine, and with green color in case he has a better energy consumption than mine. So through this way we raise the discussion among friends for energy awareness and conservation. Here is a list of all my friends. As you can see, most of them live in the capital of my country, which is Nicosia. Through the personal consumption interface, I can write my own personal consumption, which is in my case 560, if I remember correctly, kilowatt hours. Oh, I'm as used to the French keyboard. And by making this comparison with my neighborhood, the village where I live, or my country, we can some feedback whether our own consumption is better or worse than the averages. We can also make some historical consumptions, including also the streets of some of our friends. This is in the previous 3 months. We can perform the same comparison in the same month, but in previous year, choosing any of our friends. We can even see a list of our friends starting from the most energy efficient to the least energy efficient. These appear with green going to red color. We saw even people teasing each other about being green or red, which is something very positive for raising the energy awareness of people. We can also see some statistics of our area where we live. This is my own area, and the 5 most energy efficient streets of my area and the least energy efficient streets. And this can create, as I said before, as a regional awareness where people try also not only to save energy and of course money, but also to improve the ranking of the area where they live. And we have also some statistics about, apologize for everything being in Greek, it's just we target Cypriot customers and consumers. For example, people, this is a general statistic interface, people can select the region where they live. For example, Lefkosia, which is the Greek name for Nicosia. They can see statistics, for example, for villages or areas with more than, let's say, 31 premises and less than 100. I'm not using the 0 because I could not find it. And we can see here some statistics about these areas. And this counts also for the least energy efficient areas where people can select the region where they live, select some number of houses, or even select nothing and see some general statistics about the whole of Cyprus. So we want to make this application a platform for every Cypriot citizen to raise his energy awareness, and through this energy awareness also to take the countermeasures, especially those people that consume excessive amounts of energy, in order to conserve energy, money, and of course preserve the environment. Before summing, I would like also to tell you that this application, even though it targets electricity, could also extend it to other resources that need quantification. For example, gas or water, and even as I saw many telecom operators here and vendors, it could also be applied for talk time. For example, people to see how much time they speak on the phone. Okay, maybe this is not very, it has less revenue than you. I guess maybe this is not a good idea, but as a matter of health, maybe it's important for people to see how much time they speak on the phone and compare it with their friends and even their neighbor. Finally, I would like to thank the jury for giving us this award. I would like to thank my professor, Mr. Andreas Pitsilidis, which takes video out there for his valuable feedback and support during this study. And also, finally, I would like to thank my girlfriend, which is at the end there, for her psychological support during these 2 years of designing and implementing the project. Thank you very much.
Very much, Andres. I think you'll all agree with me. It's a worthy winner of this challenge. I think it's a fantastic application. I just hope that your high-consuming friends will remain friends. It'll be interesting to see how their consumption goes down, hopefully, over the months. Yeah.
We plan to do some evaluation of the project. We just wait for some months for people to use the project, and then we will perform a thorough evaluation to assess also quantitatively how this approach helps people to conserve electricity.
Okay, thank you very much, and congratulations again. So that brings us to the end of the morning session. So we'll continue with our forums after lunch, and we'll stay in this room for today.